Now, see how this foam filters you? Right. But if you're going bald, your hair goes higher, not the same. If it's receding, you would see that every day, not for 4 years you having to tell me it's receding, right? You're pretending you can't be wrong when you're wrong, and I can tell you you're wrong, right? You're pretending no one can tell you you're wrong, so you're going to do it the hell you want to do it, even if it sends you to hell, right? Well, good, you're going to go to hell when you die. That's what we're telling you. You're so stubborn about what you're doing because you can simply do it. You don't care if it's right or wrong. Right? A lot of people are doing that now. The Republicans especially, right? But what can you do about it if they're in the majority of the votes? Or 50-50, right? If half the people agree with them and the other half don't, right? It's won by a margin of votes, right? And whoever wins the votes wins the election, right? Or you're becoming undemocratized, right? You're no longer a democracy of the people, right? You're a democracy of the rich or the poor, right? That's a class of people. Mm-hmm. That's racism and classism, right? That's you think you're a better person than me because you make $1 million and I can't make a penny because what I'm doing is teaching you something, right? It's educational purposes I'm doing all this for. Yet for all that, you're the stubborn person, right? Yeah. Yeah, and I'm carried on a conversation with myself because I seem to be the only one to get it. Right. I can make a mistake and I'm wrong in that mistake. You don't get it that I get it. Right. You're calling me crazy because I get it. And try not to make the mistake. But let me ask you a question. If you hit somebody and you know you hit them, right? Right. There's a mark on your vehicle where you hit them. Right. If there's no mark, you didn't hit them that hard. Or hardly at all. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? Right. But they more think you did, right? Because they're not supposed to be in the parking lot either, right behind you backing out. Right. Don't it depend on where you hit me or I hit you when you're backing out? Right. Especially if you got a longer vehicle than me. I know. You understand what that means? If I'm backed out almost this far and I hit you on the corner of the vehicle here, right? Who's more established when they're backing out, me or you? Me. I'm almost at the apex of backing out. I'm fully backed out. Mm-hmm. If you back into me, is it my fault or your fault? That's why when you get into weird wrecks, it's hard to prove whose fault it is. Right. See, all I get into is something like a fender bender where you might have a little fender damage, but no one gets hurt. Right. Or the bus pulls out on a yellow. I stop because I know there's bumper-to-bumper traffic, and you won't listen to me. There's bumper-to-bumper traffic, and I did what I had to do. Oh, no. The bus driver didn't have to pull out either. Oh, no. On a yellow light. Oh, no. Had she not pulled out, she wouldn't have hit me. But I can pull out so far turning left. Yes, you can. Everybody does it. Oh, no. You really have until the other person's lane to pull out. And in front of Publix, you have a more turning arc, turning left. Oh, no. But tell that to Officer Martin. And he won't listen to you. He'll make it your fault. even if it wasn't your fault. And that's with prejudice, Judge Michael. He was prejudiced against me to violate my civil rights, and I'm a disabled blind person in one eye. I know. So I can drive with one eye as well. I know. Legally. All I have to have is one functioning eye, and I do. And the left eye is the left eye. Legally. And you wouldn't let me put my case before you. That's prejudice on your part and Matt Martin's. It is. It's the problem with the whole world. Prejudice. Classism. The bus driver gets more credit than the mentally ill person. Who knows the rules too, but pulled out a little bit further, maybe, than he should have. Right? That's if the bus didn't swerve into his lane. Right? And she did. You know how I know? She hit me more to the left side than to the right side. What does that mean? Right. Well, if you're pulled out and you're facing someone, and they hit you center to the left, right? What does that mean forensically? You were at an angle and they were slamming right towards you, and they hit you on their left side too. Right. Not the right. That means they could have swerved into your side of the road. Yes. Now the problem is, since Judge Michael let Officer Martin use sovereign immunity against me, that closes the case. Right. I can't do that. My hands are tied. Right. The judge sided with the officer against my civil rights. Now, what can I do about it? Bitch about it on YouTube. That's all I can do about it. Right or wrong, right? Good or evil, we all have to deal with each other. Right? And if I feel I'm done wrong, I'm going to still talk about it. Like the issue about my hair. Right? To me, this is a great hairline for a 54-year-old man. To you, it's not. Whatever. But I'm still just trying to carry on a conversation with you, whereas you're trying to be right when you're wrong. What's the difference? You are doing it to piss me off. And so what if I get mad with you? What you gonna do about it? I'm getting mad with you. And then I'll let it go. Right. All you're going to do is try and aggravate me like the fool you are. I don't care either. I don't care if you go to hell when you die for doing all this to me. And you don't either. And if you do, I'm going to be waving at you from heaven while you're burning with Satan in hell. If that's what you want. You don't get that either. You don't know till you're dead if you go to heaven or hell, by the way. Mm-hmm. That's your final curtain call. Oh, no. And you're either going to wake up like Lazarus in the bosom of Abraham, or like the rich man in the lake of fire. Or torment, right? Whatever you want to call it. And then it's too late for you, Mr. Trump, Mr. Biden, Mr. whoever. Right. You're dead. You're gone. You're out the picture too. You're not immortal, none of you. Right. That's another problem. You act all immortal. You're not immortal anymore. Even if you figure out somehow through gene splicing or something, that won't stop you from dying. Even if you upload your brain into a computer The computer is you. You still die. Fool. You're still dead. The computer is now more like you than you ever were and will probably make better decisions than you. And be a nicer person. It's actually smarter than you. But whatever. Do whatever crazy idea you want to do and you think it works. It don't. When you die, your spirit either goes up or down. It's either light enough to make the trip to heaven or it's heavy enough to go to hell. And that's all you get. Whether you believe me or not, it's not your decision when you're dead. It is when you're alive until you die. Until you die. We can argue about that till we both die. We're all gonna die. That's a given. The question is, where are you gonna go when you die? That's what they ask you. Heaven or hell? Are you sinner or saint? Because I'm trying to help the sinner too. I know we all sin. It's like Kiki playing the barber in her new video, and you think we don't recognize it's you, Kiki? Right. You're doing an Eddie Murphy. You're playing the clumps. You're dressing up as a fat black woman. Everybody loves you when you're thin and in, right? I know what you mean, right? But if you look like that, nobody would want you, would they, Kiki? No. No. That's what she's saying, by the way. No one would want a fat, ugly black woman. Let's put it bluntly. But when you got your hair thinned and you're going to the job interview and you're looking all white, prim, and proper, you'll get the job. Right, Kiki Palmer? But if you look like a black chick with your hair all to the 7 winds, or the 4 winds, sorry, you won't get crap. No one would hire you, right? Based on your appearance and not on your workability, right? Me, I'm disabled and people won't even hear that, right? They look at my face or my hair or my this and they try to make me all that, right? I'm not all that, right? And I can argue with you about it back. If there was no hair on my head, I couldn't. But if there's hair on my head, I can. That's your problem too. You don't care if you're right or wrong. That sends you to hell too. That's why people go to heaven or hell. Right? They do something wrong until they die. And we can't stop you. It's not our job to stop you. It's our job to stop ourselves. Right. And be an example to you. You can stop yourself. You just don't want to right now. You're going to do what you're going to do, Satan's little bitch that you are. And go ahead. More power to you, Mr. Satan's apprentice. You're the devil's apprentice, like Keanu Reeves, like, right, Al Pacino, right. You're not God's apprentice. God is loving. God is always kind. God never stops loving you. Right. But you believe the enemy over and become like him. And then pretend you don't know what you're doing is wrong. When you do. You can't do that either. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Doing something wrong is doing it wrong because you want to do it wrong. It's always been that way. It will always be that way. You have only two choices, right or wrong. Right. And we all make those choices daily. Fool.